topic of today is how to ask questions. Today is technicality. Yesterday is the art of it, the beauty of it, which is starting from your heart, from the content of your character. You know, that is yesterday. But today is the details, the nitty-gritty, the technicality of how you do it. Here we go.
A man's intelligence is known not by how much he knows, but by the question he asks.
Did you get that? So knowledge itself doesn't equal to education. So knowledge itself is not equal to intelligence. So education is not what you know. Education is in your questioning, your ability to question. Can you believe it that you could go to an auditorium or a class sometimes and speak to 100 or 200 or 1,000 people, and after that, anybody have question? Nobody will have question. And the reason they don't have questions is because they have not been educated. They don't know anything. They have not been trained to be educated. They are human beings, and they don't have questions. After 1 hour of speaking or 2 hours of speaking, they will just be looking at you. That is what church has turned us into. Dummies. A man's intelligence it should be intelligence. Yeah, it should be CE. A man's, because I dictate these things, and by Russian girls who are helping me to write them, they might not be able to write always. But a man's intelligence is known not by how much he knows, but by the questions he asks. Because your questions shows your reasoning. Intelligence. Your questions shows your reasoning. So questioning means reasoning.
Asking questions is true intelligence, but we'll share.
You see, this is another person confirming that. It is the asking of questions that shows intelligence.
The questions you ask yourself are a pointer to your direction in life.
The questions you ask, not others, but yourself, determines or, shows the direction you will go to in life. The ability to ask yourself questions. So when you refuse to ask yourself questions, you deny yourself direction in life. Just like we said, a man's intelligence is known by the questions not by how much he knows, but by the questions he asks. So if a man doesn't ask questions to himself or to others, he is not educated.
Getting answers are cheap because that is ready-made. Okay,
getting answers is cheap. That's another mistake. Getting answers is cheap because answers are already made. When you look for answers only, answers are already made. You are bypassing processes. And that is what cramming is. That is exactly what that politician was trying to do with me the other day. He was giving me answers. But I'm not interested in answers because answers are already made. I'm interested in the process.
That was a perfect cram and pass.
Cram and pass the situation. Yeah. Because answers are already ready-made. So it is the question that unveil the answer and the process.
Questioning allows you to get to the heart of the matter and suddenly resolve the issue.
See, look at that. Questioning allows you to get to the heart of the matter. The answers doesn't allow you to get to the heart of the matter because the answer just gives you ready-made. For example, you want to know how to do Caesar salad. And you always, or pizza, Domino pizza. Yeah. You always order pizza. But it has never been done in your presence. You've never seen it being done. You don't even know where they sell the ingredients. And then you say you know how to do it. And then you don't even know where to buy the things. Because it is the question that unveils the processes for you. It is the questioning that lets you to know, it is this. It's just like this. And somebody is always bringing you this cup, this drink, this is my grain. And then somebody asked me today and said, what is the ingredient? I don't know. Because I always get the answer.
Exactly.
Because I'm only drinking the answer. But it is the questioning now that is now making me to say, go and get the cook. Let's unveil. Questioning. That is why questioning is more important than answers. Or let's say questions are more important than answers. What did I say?
Questions are more important than answers.
What did I say?
Questions are more important than answers.
So you don't go to places where they are giving answers. Go to places where they are asking
Questions.
So you are not intelligent when you are always coming to read lectures and give answers. You are intelligent when you could be probed.
Yeah.
So a pastor, a preacher that comes on stage and just talks for 2-3 hours and he thinks he's a big man, is a small man indeed. He only becomes big when he opens that pulpit up
And let
and allows all the thousands of people there to be bringing all their thousands of questions up.
Yes.
That is when you will know if that man is big or small.
Hey.
Because questions are more important than answers. Questions are more important than answers. Because it is when you ask questions that you'll be able to discover what has not been discovered. But when you bring a ready-made, for example, what is killing our world right now and what is killing Africa is answers. Ready-made answers. Because when we need microwaves, we just import them. But nobody knows how to manufacture microwaves because we don't ask the question. We just get ready-made answers. When we need fridges in Africa, we just buy them. But that's why we don't produce fridges. Because we just have ready-made. When we need cars, we just bring them in, ready-made answers. That's why we are crippled, we can't produce our own. When we need planes, we just buy tickets. That's why we don't ask questions. We don't produce our own. That what is killing our continent is because of answers. Answers is our biggest problem. What we need is questioning. That is why this series that we are doing, this HMT on questioning, is more important than what you could ever imagine. Because even schools in Africa has become a place of answers instead of a place of questioning. The real education started with questioning. Have you ever heard of the school of Socrates? Have you ever heard of Socrates' method? It's all based on questioning. Education is questioning. If you have not heard and been exposed to the Socrates method, that is the source of education. That's where education started from. Plato, Socrates. And it is because they just question. That old school of Socrates is only built on questioning. But our schools today are built on answers. And when they give you answers, and when you build schools on answers, you graduate illiterate. When you build universities with answers, you graduate uneducated graduates. But schools and universities are supposed to be centers of questions and reasoning. Centers of questions and reasoning, not centers of acquiring knowledge. When they have made our place, our schools and universities to be centers of acquiring knowledge, they make us into dummies and zombies. But what we need to do in Africa is to change our tertiary and institutions and schools into places of questioning and reasoning rather than places of getting answers and just packaging solutions, because answers are inferior to questions. So and all the people who are watching this thing today, please, can you go and share? How I wish we would share this message. Share. Go and share. Go and share in the inboxes. Go and share in the timelines. Go and share in the groups. Let freedom come to our continent. So questioning allows you to get to the heart of the matter and solidly resolve the issue. Why answers are cheap? Because they are ready-made. Yes, go ahead.
Questions reveals your hunger and desperation.
It is only question that reveals anger and desperation. Answers don't reveal anything because they're already right there. Answers is revealing another person's hunger and desperation, not your own. So when you ask, for example, why did you come here? You came here for answers. You were asking questions. You had questions. It is your questioning that brought you here. Questions reveal, the question you ask yourself reveal your hunger and desperation. When you are desperate, you will answer, you will question. When you are desperate, you will open your mouth. You will ask questions because you are desperate. But when you are not asking questions, it means you are not desperate. When you are not asking questions, it means you are not hungry. But questions reveal what is in your heart, your hunger and desperation.
Questions reveal humility to even ask and confess you don't know.
Questions also reveals and unveils to us how humble you are. When you sit down there and you never ask any question, and you are saying, maybe they will not understand. Maybe they will say, I'm proud. Maybe they will think about me. That is actually pride. That is false humility, it's called. Because for you to really raise up your hand, despite shame that could come, despite condemnation that will come, despite mistakes you could make in your grammar, despite what you think about, it shows me a humble man. Questions. Your questions reveal your hunger and humility. Even when you are asking yourselves these questions, it reveals your humility.
Questions reveal trust that you will get an answer.
Beautiful. Questions reveals trust. You are trust. Why did you? If you don't trust, you will not risk to ask. But you are asking because you are believing, you are trusting that answer will come. But you that is saying, I'm not sure he will answer. Maybe he will not answer. You are not trusting. You are not a trustworthy person. You are not a faithful person. So questions, they reveal so much about you. You now understand why I make you to stand up. Why I make you to raise your hand. If you don't answer, you have, because we must push you to let things go. They set you free from a lot of things.
Yeah.
But in our culture, they tell you that silence is virtue.
Yeah.
In our culture, they tell you, they tell you that elders are here. They are teaching us vices as values. They are destroying us, telling us that don't ask questions in church. Don't ask questions in church. And when you don't ask questions in church, you lose trust because questions reveal trust. When you don't ask questions in churches, you lose humility because questions show humility. When you don't ask questions in churches, you lose hunger because questions show hunger. When you don't ask, when you stop asking questions in churches, you lose desperation because questions show desperation. You see how much church is making us to lose? So when I now say to people, you don't need to go to these kind of churches. If these churches are not making you to become, you don't need to go to church. You are losing more by going to these kind of churches. You are losing more. You are losing yourself. You are becoming less humane or less human. You are becoming more animalistic just because you go to church. This kind of churches has become, endangered environment to us. You have become destroyed. You have become reduced. You have become dehumanized just because you go to church. Because you lose your trust. You lose your hunger. You lose your desperation. You lose your passion. That's why you must only go to right churches.
Questions you ask reveal your passion to know.
You see? Because your passion, you must go somewhere. You know, but when we are growing up, even in our families in Africa, they tell you don't talk when others are there. Don't ask questions. So you grow up. You know, the implication of that is that African people grow up bottled up.
Yes.
And it's like you yourself, you are bottled up inside your body. Your body becomes your prison. So when you now reach teenage years and you get out of house, you become emotional wreck. So that's why Africans they want to fight all the time. That's why Africans they want to argue all the time. Anything is offensive to them. Everything is angry. Anything you tell to normal human being, they want to fight because you are an emotional wreck. You bottled everything inside yourself before it's like bottle, you close it. So every little thing is you just want to burst open because you have been imprisoned in your body, imprisoned in your emotions, imprisoned. You have not been able to speak out your thoughts, your concerns. So all your thoughts, all your queries, all the questions. I mean, children, they have questions, because you are born like that. Even children, you are born to ask questions. So when that is bottled up, when that is closed up, you are an emotional wreck. So when you now, any little thing, you'll be either crying or fighting or angry or because you have been imprisoned. You have been imprisoned in your own body. Now you've stopped from, you grow up to be an adolescent, at least you become grown up. But then if you are unlucky that after you left home, you now fell into church and where the bottling continues, you are just a catastrophe waiting to happen. So because questioning reveals your passion, all those passion will be bottled in, closed in. So that's why they say Africans are aggressive, they are angry, they are doing, they are because of this. Yes, sir. That's why we're emotional. Because you didn't express it, it's just emotions now that is left.
Well, actually, when you miss it from home and miss it from
church.
The school, the church is the best place
for
you to get help. And that's what the church is for.
But what have they done now?
Unfortunately, in Africa, it has become a place where you are more abused than ever.
More imprisoned. Don't talk about Geo. Don't question him. Don't do this. African man don't suffer.
For me, that was exactly where I was. I think I was getting to the peak of it in October last year before I came across you. I was asking a lot of questions, but I was like shut down, telling me, who are you to speak?
Grown up,
Were you there? Yeah, were you there when God called
an adult?
Were you the one that saw the vision? Were you the one that is anointed? You understand?
Grown up man,
I said, but
graduate.
I can read. I read the Bible. What I see in the Bible is different from what I see practice. So won't I ask questions? And they just keep like, if they don't shut you up directly, they'll use indirect tactics to just like wave the question aside. So I was becoming, until I came across your series when you were doing, I think the syncretism series. And after about 2 days or 3 days of watching, I said no. I just cut off completely. It's pathetic.
Please, everybody that's watching this thing, go and share. Go share this message. Share, everyone. So questions reveal your passion. Questions help you to release that passion. Questions help you to release the energy, the bulb up and the locked up emotion inside of you. You get them unveiled and open. I remember, I don't know if Dr. Success is here today. You know, Dr. Success, the first time I met him, he was in an HMT like this. And I was saying, he was talking sense, but he was emotionally held up. I was saying, hug me. He was the ballet, he was prostrate. I didn't say prostrate, I said, hug me. It happened. It was later when they told me that was the first hug in his whole life. I said, you don't have mother. I said, I have. But father and God, I have. Emotionally bottled up. A 20-something years old guy, university student, nobody ever hugged him in his whole life. Not mother, not father.
Myself, for example, I grew up in a home where if I want to ask my dad a question, he would tell me, don't ask me foolish question.
But he has not even had.
Yeah, I've not even asked.
He has not.
And
You have not even opened your
I've
mouth.
not even opened my mouth. And even in church, you gave a scenario in church that we don't ask questions in church because the pastors,
They want you to come.
the pastors are that ignorant because they are not ready for the questions. You understand?
Okay.
They are not ready for the question because they know they can't provide the answers. You understand? They study the answer, but they don't know how.
Oh, they only give answers.
They only give answers.
They don't accept questions.
They don't accept questions.
Because question will unveil and reveal who they are.
Who they are. You understand? So a pastor will tell you, don't ask foolish questions because there are some. You just leave everything to God.
Oh, yeah, that you remember the first day? That is what is the explanation for that? Who knows? From the first day. A paganistic worldview. You don't ask God questions. Everything is foolish questions. Wow. Even in the family.
Even in the family. Even in the family. So some children are raised with the mindset that there are some questions that are not meant to be asked. So they bottle up
all
those
those
questions and it's on them. And some of them, when they grow up and they are not getting answers, they drift away into atheism.
What about cult? Cults now. You don't know cults, all those cults in the universities. That is where they release now. The people who are pushing those university students into cultism, they are the parents. It is this culture of not allowing people to ask questions. What leads to rebellion? It is this question, this thing. Yeah. Somebody else want to say something?
If you are the type that's always inquisitive, you want to know, both from the home and in the church, they are still you as a stubborn one, they are still you as a rebellious one. And this thing made me to stop going to church. For the past 4 years, I stopped going to church.
God delivered you. That might have been the greatest thing.
I wasn't going to church. But
that might have been the greatest thing that happened to you.
I thought I was insane. I thought I was done something wrong by not going to church. But each time I said, okay, after 6 months, I said, let's go. I'll say come back complaining. I said, it's better I don't even go to church than I go to church every day and I'm complaining.
God was delivering you now.
I didn't know it was deliverance until my friend asked me to come and listen to you. That's it. I stopped practically going because I don't like to deceive myself. I don't like to pretend. I'm a very straightforward person. I don't understand this pattern, this religiosity. Everything is patterned. I say if we carried God and put in a box, then everybody that is following God is also put in a box as a member of the church. You don't ask questions. You are not free. You are tight.
Mountain of ignorance.
So I think we should start movements. Everybody should start.
Everybody will start a movement.
Yeah,
yes.
start a movement.
Yes.
Shout till everybody hear you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, next point. It's gone. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and talk.
I just wanted to add to why I think many of the. I want to add to why many of the religious people or religious leaders don't allow questions. So many times they even they study the answers of another person.
Okay.
So that's why
it is not their content.
Yeah, that's why all of their preaching are the same.
Now I understand why our churches lay so much emphasis on the preaching of the man of God.
Yes.
Because they come and prove to you, they come and gather all the answers from other people and give you ready-made answers. So we think he's wise. But if they don't allow questioning, they are not wise. They are not intelligent. It is the question that reveals the content of the man, not the answer he gives.
So they cannot even prove what I think. Anu proved something one day. Anu, please come forward. There was a pastor of a particular church who was in our group, and Anu asked her a simple question. So I would like Anu to share the story.
Maybe Anu doesn't remember herself.
No, he remembers.
The question I asked her was, who is a Christian? because she's a pastor and she's a Christian.
And she doesn't know what a Christian is. Who is a Christian?
But the amazing thing about it is that she just gave a direct answer that her pastor gave to her. That Christianity is the pulsating life of God.
What?
Is that Christianity is the pulsating life of God.
Pulsating life of God.
Yeah.
So Christianity is not.
What is that?
That Christianity
Huh?
Pulsating.
pulse.
So I don't know. Followed up with the question. Don't go yet. I now followed up with the question. Okay, because she said it's not a religion; it is a pulsating life of God. Okay, I know. I was okay. What is that pulsating life? He said, "Mbok, leave me alone."
Yeah. She couldn't. She couldn't.
No answer.
Yeah, she couldn't defend it. She couldn't defend it. That's it.
Knowledge, cramming. Yeah, she has crammed that statement.
So what we now
Cram
discovered
and
was
pass.
there was a teaching that the head pastor did on Christianity. And so the word he said is that Christianity is not a religion. It is the pulsating life of God. So that line like that, it was just in her head. Hook, line, and sinker. No questioning whatsoever. So the amazing thing was there was a Catholic guy in our group then who you would even think
Shouldn't know anything.
And I know asked the same question, and this guy was able to give
An
an answer. And this guy is not proving charismatic. He's not proving that. It doesn't even show that. You
He's
even
a
think he's
pastor.
not a
He's not
Christian.
even a pastor.
So I'm thinking that is why they don't allow questions, because they only study the material of another person, crammed it, and they're adding some sort of charisma. to it.
Ready-made answer.
Yeah, some sort of charisma to it, and cannot answer it.
Answers are inferior to questions.
Yes, sir.
Questions are superior to answers. Ready-made answers, that is. Thank you. Okay?
Questions you ask reveal your character and will.
You say, so it means that when they don't allow you to ask questions, like in churches, then they conceal. They don't make you to discover yourself. You never discover yourself, your character. You don't show character. You don't have willpower. You don't exercise willpower. You don't exercise strong character. So Christians become weaklings because you are not being encouraged to ask questions. It is because for you to ask questions, you have to have willpower to.
Yeah.
You try to have character to break through. Questions reveal character and willpower. When there is no questioning, you lose your character. You lose your willpower. You lose your zeal.
Questions reveal your knowledge, how much you know.
Questions reveal, because you can only ask questions when you already have background information.
Yeah.
And that's why knowledge is needed. What you need knowledge for is to be able to distinguish, to be able to see a difference, so that then you'll be able to question what is missing. That's why it is questioning that now knows that shows us what you know.
And he said to them, "Why did you seek me? Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business?"
Even Jesus is always asking questions, can you see? And when he was at that temple, when we saw him first in the temple at 12 years old, he was asking questions of the
from the
Jews and Pharisees and the
law.
instructors of the law.
Questions reveal your interests.
Can you imagine children? Why do children ask all those questions? Because it reveals their interest. But when you now tell them, shut up, you kill those children.
Kill them.
You kill their interest and you kill them.
Questions reveal your direction in life, where you are and where you're going.
I think I should write a book about this thing now.
Question, yeah. Yes, sir. There's a lot of books to write. There's a lot of
Questions reveal your direction in life, where you are going and where you are. Where you are and where you are going. So if you don't ask questions, you will not even know where you are or where you are going. Can you imagine you get into a city, you don't ask questions? You get lost.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, living
I
by
never
the
had.
answer.
Say it again. Say the statement that you should
by answer, yes.
repeat the whole statement. You should write a book
We should write a book on living by question. Yeah.
because
There's a show in Nigeria, there's a pastor in Nigeria that does living by answer.
the opposite.
That's the opposite.
You want people to live by answers instead of living by
By
questioning.
questioning.
Wow. Thank you for telling me that. Now I know I have to.
Jesus said to her, "Woman, what does your concern have to do with me? My hour has not yet come."
You see, Jesus constantly questioning.
We are closer to God when we are asking questions
Beautiful.
than when we think we have the answers.
Beauty. Can you imagine? Who said that?
Abraham, Joshua, Heshkiel.
Heschel.
Is it Heshkiel?
Heschel. Yeah. Abraham, Joshua, Heschel said that we are closer to God when we are asking questions than when we
Think
we have ready-made answers. Questions bring us closer to God. So that is profound. These are all profound things, and I think for sure I need to write a book on this, maybe several books on this idea. But please, if you are watching this program, please go and share. Share. This could bring about a whole revolution in Africa. It will redefine education totally and set people free from all kind of captivity, church captivity, family captivity, conditioning of the society, and make us human again.
Questions are a powerful way of, one, learning.
So through questioning we learn. How? Why?
One, learning. Ask open and closed questions and use probing questioning.
So questions are a powerful way of learning, but how do you learn through questioning? There are three types of questionings. There is the open questioning, open questions, or closed questions, or closed questioning, or probing question. There are more than that, but this is just the beginning. We want to show you the elementary. The elementary form of questions you might have is you either ask closed questions, what do you call it? Open questions or probing questions. But there are more than that. We will show you more now. But these kind of questions help you to learn. Open questions will help you to learn. Closed questions will help you to learn. And probing questions will help you to learn.
Two,
questions help you to, have to come from.
Okay. Questions are powerful ways of, two, relationship building.
So questions help you to learn. Questions help you to build relationships.
People generally respond positively if you ask about what they do or inquire about their opinions. If you do this in an affirmative way, tell me.
For example.
Okay, for example, tell me what you like best about working here. You will help to build and maintain an open dialogue.
So question will help you to bring you to open a dialogue. And through that, you build a relationship. So questions help you to learn. Number two, questions help you to build relationship because Americans know how to do that very well. You in America, for example, you are going in the street like this. So somebody is passing you, hi, hello. But if you are going the same direction, you say, hey, hello, I am Flora. I'm going to see my daughter who is giving birth in the hospital. I say, maybe I'm a kidnapper. I'm going to see my. Hello, where are you from? Are you here? Are you here to visit? You just open up like this. You just open up like this and you begin to talk. And you are in the car with them and say, oh, well, I'm from Louisiana. I am going to see my grandson in Amsterdam. I guess you are coming from, are you from here? Beautiful relationship. Questions help you to build relationship by opening dialogue.
3. Questions help managing and coaching. Yeah, rhetorical and leading questions are useful too. They can help get people to
So these are,
reflect.
we have mentioned 3 kinds of questions in the beginning: open, close, inquiry. Now these are 2 types of questions again: rhetorical and leading questions.
Okay.
So what does this one help us do? It helps you to coach and to manage, to maintain. Okay.
Yeah, rhetorical and leading questions are useful too. They can help get people to reflect and to commit to courses of action that they have suggested. Example, wouldn't it be great to gain some further qualifications?
Wouldn't it be great to gain some further qualifications? That is a rhetorical question because you are already stating the answer. That is rhetorical, right? Yeah. But also it leading. It's leading the person you are telling, no, not to other questions, to the idea of getting further education. So it's a leading question. Is more very simple. It's when you are leading, you are suggesting, you are suggestive, but in a form of question. Instead of telling somebody, go and get another education, Jare, he said no. Don't you think it will be good for you? So it's a leading question, that is called. And it also could be rhetorical because you already know the answer. You are putting the answer in the question. That's called rhetorical. So, but it's for managing the situation, coaching somebody, leading somebody, or guiding somebody. That is what those questions are for. Rhetorical questions and leading questions. Did you get it? Yes. Or it's not very clear? Yes, if you are confused, let me know, because I like to simplify everything until you get it.
This is clear for me.
Is it clear?
It's clear for me.
Okay.
4. Questions help avoiding misunderstandings. Use probing questions to seek clarity.
So this is another form of question again.
Yeah.
This is now probing question. There are now 6, right? There are now 6, but we will still mention them in front.
Using probing questions to seek clarification, particularly when the consequences are significant. Make sure you avoid jumping to conclusions.
You see, instead of assuming and jumping to conclusions, it's better to use what we call probing questions.
5. Questions helps diffusing a heated situation. You can calm an angry customer or colleague by using funnel questions to get them to go into more detail about their grievances.
That is another form of question now. That's now 7, right? Funnel question. You know what funnel question means? Okay, funnel question is the question that you use when you are interrogating. For example, if he's talking about customer, you could say, are you here in our shop for the first time? You use both close and open question. When but funnel is like, tunnel, like funnel is like taking somebody down deep. So you start with easier question and then you begin to make them relax. Now when they are relaxed and trusting, you begin to ask more open questions that will make them to enter you. First of all, you must know what is open question. Open question are the kind of question, they will still come on there. Open question is just a question you just say, closed question. Let's start with closed. Closed question is kind of question where you don't want the person to talk much. It's always the question that need answers like yes or no. Yes or no. Are you from Nigeria? Yes or no. You don't have anywhere to go. Yes or no. Are you living here? Yes or no. That's called closed. You are not allowing me to. You are not asking me to talk. But open question is a question that requires you to explain something. Closed question is just a yes or no, but open is the one that requires you to explain. For example, what are you studying? Why did you choose that profession? Or are you studying medicine? Why did you go into medicine? That is no more closed. Why did you go into medicine is open. You have to talk. How many children do you have? 4, that is closed. That's closed question. But if you say, tell me what are the things, what are the things that differentiate your children one from the other? Very open. Okay, but funnel questions is when you start like with closed, then open, then you begin to probing. It's a question that you use for probing, especially detectives use it, or police use it, or people like that. That is what funnel questioning.
It's more empowering to diffuse a fight than win one. Empowering.
And the best way to do that is through questioning.
This will distract them from their emotions and help you to identify a small practical thing that you can do, which is often enough to make them feel that they have won something and no longer need to be angry.
That is fooling question.
Number 6, questions help in persuading people. No one likes to be lectured, but asking a series of open questions will help others to embrace the reasons behind your point of view. For example, what do you think about bringing the sales force in for half a day to have their laptops upgraded?
Even though you yourself, you want to lecture them and tell them that, go and tell them to bring something now. But instead of, and this is what Nigerians do, we don't use questions very well. Yeah. We rather use instruction and command tone. Yes. We always instructing people to do this. Go and do that thing now. Why don't you go and do it? We order people, we command people, we control people. But questioning could help you to soften that and to build relationship and to, not sound provocative or abusive to other people. So instead of saying, go and bring your computer and the laptops, you say, what do you think? You see, it starts with what do you think? What do you think about bringing? It's like it's a suggestion. It's like it's your own opinion only. You are not just telling people to go and do it. I don't know if you are getting it, right? Do you get that? Yeah. But it's an open question. So you are giving the person the option either to take it or not to take it. So let's see types of questions now. So I've just given you the advantages of questioning and what questions we do. But now let's just go now into the details of what those questions are. What are the kind of questions we have? You remember I said 7 types of questions, huh? So we are going to look at them in details now. Okay. So let's first of all start with open and closed questions.
1. A closed question.
Number 1.
Number 1. A closed question.
So what is a closed question now? Let's see the definition of a closed question.
A closed question usually receives a single word or very short factual answer. For example, are you thirsty? The answer is yes or no.
You see the closeness of the question? Okay, go ahead.
Second example, where do you live? The answer is generally the name of your town or your address.
You see, closed question. Now, what is open question?
Open question.
That's number 2 type of questions.
Number 2 type of question. Open question. Open question elicit longer answers. They usually begin with what, why, or how.
You getting it? Okay.
Open questions ask the respondent for his or her knowledge, opinion, or feelings. Example, tell me and describe can also be used in the same way as open questions. Here are some examples. Number 1, what happened at the meeting?
It's very open. Yeah. What happened at the meeting, HMT?
Yeah.
It is too open. That's one.
Number 2, why did he react that way?
You see, these things need to be taught to our people, especially Nigerians.
They sound simple, but it's
But you have to live like that. You have to it's practical life.
yeah, very,
Instead of just telling people, why do they perceive Nigerians as rude?
yeah.
It's because we don't use these styles. We don't know these things.
Number 3, how was the party?
How? Open, very open question.
Number 4, tell me what happened next.
Very open.
Number 5, describe the circumstances in more detail.
Very open question. You see, can you get the difference between the closed questions
yeah.
and open questions, or it's not? Is it clear or it's
Yeah,
not?
very clear, very
Okay,
clear.
okay.
Very clear. Open questions are good for, number 1, developing an open conversation. Example, what did you do on vacation? Number 2, finding out more details. Example, what else do we need to do to make this a success? Number 3, finding out the other person's opinion or issues. For example, what do you think about those changes?
No, you're getting it, right?
Yeah. Closed questions are good for, number 1, testing your understanding or the other person's. So, for example, we'll get a look at it. So
you will get a raise.
will you?
Or-
I think will you get a raise? Will I get a raise?
Will I get a raise? Yeah.
For example, so will I get a raise if I'm qualified?
Yes or no?
Yeah. Number 2, concluding a discussion or making a decision. For example, now that we know the facts, do we all agree this is the right course of action?
Close question. Yes or no?
Frame setting. Are you happy with the service from your bank?
That is also a close
Question.
question. Straightforward.
A misplaced closed question, on the other hand, can kill the conversation and lead to awkward silence. So they are avoided when a conversation is in full flow. Number 3.
Now, so we have gotten 2 types of questioning now. Which ones? Open and closed questions. Now let's go and study the funnel question. I tried to explain this, but it is better explained in this note. Let's go. You remember funnel question? We come across it. Okay.
Number 3, funnel questions. This technique involves starting with general questions, then closing in on a point in each answer and asking more and more details at each level.
Do you get it? Okay, but you will get it now as we are going.
It's often used by detectives taking a statement from a witness. For examples, number 1, how many people were involved in the fight? About 10?
No. Okay, you'll be reading the question. I'll be the victim. I'll be giving the answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 1, how many people were involved in the fight?
About 10,
Were there kids or adults?
mostly kids.
What sort of ages were there?
You remember I told you that these questions always start with closed, then it goes to open, after you have gained some trust, and it's a funnel question to bring people into talking more. Okay, so what's the last one?
I said, what sort of ages were there?
About 14 or 15. You see, the process is going. You are drawing, funnel is drawing the person into a tunnel or into a place where you could get the person your own, make the person your own person. Okay.
Were any of them wearing anything distinctive?
Yes, several of them had red baseball caps on.
So can you remember if there was a logo on any of the caps?
Now you come to mention it, yes. I remember seeing a big letter N. You see the way you are unveiling the whole situation. Sorry?
I mean, all starting from the first question.
All started from, you will not know where you are going though. All started just from how many people were involved in the fight. And see how much information we have now having. It's funnel. If you have just asked him, okay, what happened? That's what normally we say. Tell us what happened. And the person will just be saying some. But if you come up with funnel questions, one after the other, you'll be able to get the whole picture.
I think our police force will need.
You will need training on this one. Okay.
Using this technique, the detective has helped the witness relieve the scene and gradually focus on a useful detail. Perhaps he will be able to identify young men wearing a hat like this from CCTV footage. It is unlikely he will have got this information if he simply asked an open question such as, "Are there any details you can give me about what you saw?"
It's difficult to be able to come up with those. So funnel question will make you to help people release details, concrete details.
Tips. When using funnel questioning, start with closed questions. As you progress through the funnel, start using more open questions. Funnel questions are good for, number one, finding out more detail about a specific point. For example, tell me more about option 2. Number 2, gaining the interest or increasing the confidence of the person you are speaking with. For example, have you used the IT help desk? Did they solve your problem? What was the attitude of the person who took your call?
So do we understand funnel question?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to number 4.
Number 4, probing question. Probing question is another strategy for finding out more details. For example, ask your correspondent to help you understand a statement he or she have made. You may need additional information for clarification. When do you need this report by? And do you want to see a draft before I give you my final verdict? Or to investigate whether there is proof for what has been said. For example, how do you know that the new database can't be used by the sales force?
Bro, this is Luda. Ask her for Luda, not that Berliner spice-up ingredient of examen. No, partially in email that I listed that I posted. So we are not periodic angliski a potom photography examen. Ilite na George photography ingredient of someone. Okay.
An effective way of probing is to use the 5 whys method, which can help you quickly get to the root of a problem. Tip: use questions that include the word exactly to probe further. What exactly do you mean by fast track? What exactly wanted?
Who exactly?
Who exactly wanted this report?
This is probing. Probing is different from funnel, but is similar. The funnel is to get just more information, record more facts. But probing is nitty-gritty.
Probing questions are good for, number 1, gaining clarification to ensure you have the whole story and that you understand it thoroughly. Number 2, drawing information out of people who are trying to avoid telling you something.
So if you get the probing question, let's go to another one, the leading questions.
Number 5, leading questions. Leading questions try to lead the respondent to your way of thinking. They can do this in several ways. Leading questions with an assumption. How late do you think that the project will deliver? This assumes that the project will certainly not be completed on time. Yeah. The word late.
You got it?
Yeah.
Or not? Read it again so that people get it.
Leading questions with an assumption. For example, how late do you think that the project will deliver?
So the emphasis here is suggesting to the person that I know you are going to be late. Oh. I'm leading you for you not to confess to me that you will not make it on time. I already know it will be late. Don't worry. Just tell me how late it will be. That is leading. So the person might not be convenient or comfortable to tell you that I might not make it on time. So don't worry. Let's bypass that one. I know it's already going to be late. So how late will it be? Emmanuel, you got it. Let's see another example here.
Leading question by adding a personal appeal to agree at the end. For example, Laurie is very efficient. Don't you think? Option 2 is better, isn't it?
So you are leading the person to say positive things about Laurie. Laurie is very efficient, don't you think? You agree? I mean, is it not so? You say, oh yeah. You are already suggesting what you want to hear, huh? Yes, you are already leading the person. Or option 2 is better, isn't it? Even though you could say no, but you at least you know that it is option 2 you want you to talk about. Even with Laurie is very efficient. Even if you say she's not efficient, but it is that efficiency that I want to find out. Not how beautiful Laurie is. So it's leading question that is called. You have some comments?
Somebody's asking you a question.
Okay.
Should I read?
No, say it already.
Okay. No,
that someone is.
Yeah, someone is asking a question
from the internet.
From the internet.
Okay,
yeah.
from not from internet, from
the Facebook.
Facebook.
And he's saying, "Good day, sir. Please, my 9-year-old daughter asked me if she can talk about marriage when she's 18. Assist me more on what to do in this case. Great job you are doing."
I don't get the question.
He said his 9-year-old daughter is asking him if she can talk about marriage.
She wants to be teaching, lecturing about marriage?
And maybe just discuss about the issue of marriage.
When she
turns 18.
No. She has to begin to she has to allow the daughter, who is 9 years now, to begin to talk about marriage from now. From 9 years, not from 18-year-old.
So you will have
yes, from 9-year-old, not from 18. And I want to also tell everybody that, you must begin to talk to your children about marriage and sex and difference in sexes from 9-year-old, yes. Latest by 11-year-old.
Yeah.
So, by the way, let me use this opportunity to announce to everybody that we are organizing in August what we call the Teenage HMT. And this Teenage HMT, we only have 3 people registered. Right? Only 3 people have registered, I think. So if more people don't register, I'm going to cancel it all. So any one of you that wants to come and bring your children and teenagers to HMT in August, you better register before the end of this HMT, before Monday. If you don't register before Monday, there will be no HMT for teenagers. Because HMT for teenagers starts from the 6th of August to the 11th of August. And the way to register is to go to my blog, www.sundayadelajablog.com/visit. sundayadelajablog.com/visit. sundayadelajablog.com/visit. So if you don't register now for the teenage HMT before Monday, it's off the table. Okay?
Okay.
So we are going to leading question.
Leading question. Phrasing the question so that the easiest response is yes. Our natural tendency to prefer to say yes than no plays an important part in the phrasing of referendum questions. For example, shall we all approve option 2? Is more likely to get a positive response than do you want to approve option 2 or not?
Wow. It is all science, eh? Questioning is a science. It's not so easy.
It's an art.
It's an art. That's why I call it the art of questioning.
Leading question. A good way of doing this is to make it personal. For example, would you like me to go ahead with option 2?
You are leading by suggesting. It's actually a suggestive question.
Rather than, shall I choose option 2?
Yeah. Because that is more precise, the first one.
Giving people a choice between 2 options, both of which you will be happy with, rather than the choice of one option or not doing anything at all. Strictly speaking, the choice of neither is still available when you ask, which would you prefer of A or B? But most people will be caught up in deciding between your 2 preferences. Note, leading questions tend to be closed. Tips. Use leading questions with care. If you use them in a self-serving way or one that harms the interests of the other person, then they can, quite rightly, be seen as manipulative and dishonest.
That's the problem, the challenge with leading question, because you might be leading people trying to lead them your own way.
Leading questions are good for, number 1, getting the answer you want, but leaving the other person feeling that they have had a choice. Number 2, closing a sale. For example, if that answers all of your questions, shall we agree to a price?
So the next question is rhetorical
question.
Rhetorics.
Yeah.
Rhetorical question.
Yeah. Number 6, rhetorical questions. They aren't really questions at all, so they don't expect an answer. They are really just statements phrased.
You remember when people tell you it's a rhetorical question you are asking. That is a question that you already put the answer inside. Yeah, so you don't really need answer from me.
They aren't really questions at all, so they don't expect an answer. They are really just statements phrased in question form. For example, isn't John's design work so creative?
Yeah, isn't this work very beautiful?
People use rhetorical questions because they are engaging for the listener as they are drawn into agreeing. For example, yes, it is, and I like working with such a creative colleague, rather than feeling that they are being told something like, John is a very creative designer, to which they may answer, so what? Rhetorical questions are good for, number 1, engaging the listener. Number 2, using questioning techniques. You have probably used all of these questioning techniques before in your everyday life, at work and at home. But by consciously applying the appropriate kind of questioning, you can gain the information, response, or outcome that you want even more effectively. Tip: rhetorical questions are even more powerful if you use a string of them. For example, isn't that a great display? Don't you love the way the text picks up the colors in the photographs? Doesn't it use space really well? Wouldn't you love to have a display like that for our products?
And it's mostly closed questions.
Questioning. By consciously applying the appropriate kind of questioning, you can gain the information, response, or outcome that you want even more effectively.
Well, that's it about the topic for about this topic, how to ask questions. Now I want to hear your responses. What will you say? Is it helpful? Is this topic helpful?
Yeah, I would say it's very, very, very helpful because
Video.
Coming from our background, right? We've gone through school, but
we've not been educated.
Nobody has ever told us
these things.
what we're hearing now. Like you said, sometimes maybe we
Honestly.
use them, but we don't use them in the right ways. And that's why we come into a society, we come into a culture that are like, I will use it because a friend of mine like to say that Africans are not evolved. So you come into a society where they are more evolved, and you appear to them as strange. And sometimes I don't really blame the Western world when they use derogative words for Africa, because they are outside and they are looking in and they are seeing the animalistic behavior of Africans. But we are inside. All we can see, they say, like somebody said, like the one-eyed man is king in the land of the blind. So we are among the
Ourselves.
mess. So when you turn to the right, you see somebody like you. You turn to the left, you see somebody like you, and you think everything is normal. But when you come out, you begin to see that there's actually an issue. And these things look so simple, but I think most of the time, the simplest things in life are the things we need the most. Like, nobody buys air, but it is very important. So these things you are hearing today, it's not just, it will be good for us to start it now from the basis, from the kids still in school, because we don't have a culture.
I think we should actually introduce these subjects in
It should be a curriculum. It should be a curriculum from the very grassroots, so that children can now begin to understand the importance of asking questions. And for we, the grown-up ones, I think it's like you said, it should be a movement that should be propagated through every available means, especially through music, through movies, Nollywood. Should begin to propagate this, because these are things that people are drawn to. They should be teaching it through our movies, through our music. Then it should be like a criteria for example, like the driving school in London, for example. If you want to get a license, there are a lot of questions. A lot of questions you have to answer. Yeah. You do verbal reasoning, you do the hazard test to test your thinking faculty. You do all that before, and you must get a cutoff score of 70 and above before you can even, you do your theoretical test, you sit before a computer-based exam, you must pass. When you finish that, you go again for your practical, and you go, the instructor will just watch what you're doing, and after that, I will ask you some few questions to see whether you really understood what you just practicalized. So I think there are so many ways that we can begin to look at. Each and every one of us might have a different idea, but even if it's just one idea you have, go and start implementing it. Begin, like I'm part of a forum, my university colleagues, we have a WhatsApp platform. And just this morning, I was reading it, and a couple of people made some comment about what's going on in Nigeria, hate killing and all that. And one of the guys who is a Muslim there just came and was just blasting, oh, don't talk about my religion, this. Then somebody was saying, this topic's too sensitive, we shouldn't discuss it. So I now wrote a short piece there. I was just kind of like trying to tell them that, look, have you guys ever stopped to ask yourself some basic questions and reason? I said, you guys have been in the same class for years. You are very close friends. Some of you have ate from the same bowl. Some of you have slept on the same bed. And you cannot come to terms to have an open discussion about religion. You are fighting because somebody touched your religion. I said, so how do you expect the people at the top who don't even know themselves, they are not friends, they are from different factions, to even agree? If you cannot agree, you are friends, you are very close. You cannot have, so I now use what Vitaly said yesterday, that what will happen if you wake up tomorrow and discover that all that you have ever believed, the dogma, the creed you have held, they are all false? Are you still going to hold on to them because you don't want to appear as foolish, or you don't want to appear as, oh, you've been deceived? No. I said, so let's allow an open platform where people are free to express their opinion about religion, about whatever, without taking it personal. It is their opinion. you can also state your opinion. Rather than, and because these are people who are graduates, these are people who have, some of them have gotten their master's, some of them have gotten their PhD, and they're still reasoning like this. And it is because these basic things that we've just learned now, we are not taught from the foundation. So people don't even know that questioning is an act. There are ways you can go. There are words you can use. There is how you can put the word. Because I used to say that what you say to me is not as important as how you say it. How you say it is more important to me than what you are saying. So I think that's what we should begin to see. It's such a profound message.
I think you have just said something that I don't agree with. Okay. Because you said that what the person is saying to you is not as important as how it is said. Yeah. This is how Nigerians are. We are reacting based on how it was said and not what was said.
What I mean is that what he said is important.
Okay.
But sometimes how you say it, we connote a different meaning to it, that I will now understand something else than what you were trying to say. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, but mine is, seriously, for me, I'm going to take it as a personal challenge. And I would like to engage with Doctor more on how really we can take this and take it back. Because for me, most of the problems I got into growing up was because I was asking questions. And from what I'm seeing here, it's a system problem. It's there in the family, it's there in the church, it's there in the hospital. You go to the hospital and the doctor tells you that this is your problem, you need to do this. You can't even question what the doctor has told you. And people are dying for taking the wrong medication. Yeah. We can't question anything. So it is really a serious...
So we have to start a movement of the art of questioning all over the whole country.
Yes, because if we start that, and people start asking questions, when people tell you things, they come on air and say one thing, you will find a child questioning that. So I think there is need to retrain every single person. We need to retrain the system.
Thank you for raising that aspect of healthcare in Nigeria. I was talking to a colleague in Nigeria, and he was sharing his experience with me as a doctor in Nigeria, that they have to do certain things just to manipulate their clients, their patient, They have to prescribe a drug. They have to force their patient to take a particular drug because of the benefit they will get from there. They even have to force their patient to take a procedure, for example, CS, cesarean section. Not many people may necessarily need it, but because of the monetary money they will get from, and the patient, they won't question this. Like, why do I need to go through cesarean section, for example? So that's a very, very good point you're raising. Another example is that this art of questioning is very, very important. I started realizing the importance of this when I started selling. I discovered that if I'm not asking questions, if I'm not asking my customers or my client questions, I won't get to know their needs. And they are not buying anything from me. So first thing I have to learn is to ask questions, know their need, their core need. And I see improvement in sales, in everything. So, sir, the fact that you say you're considering of writing a book about this, don't you have to write a book about this. It's very, very important. Even if a lecture series on this, on asking questions. Very, very important.
This topic for today on how to ask a question is really very important for me or for us Africans, especially from where we are coming from, our background. Most of the things we ask sound like it's a command, and that comes root to the person hearing it. So from this teaching for today, I think we have to start retraining ourselves based on how to ask the question. Because just as he said, the way you ask something or the way you bring out some information can give a different interpretation, or it can even destroy a relationship with that person, because the answer you will get will be different from if you could have asked it another way. That person starts seeing it as you are being impolite. And another thing that is common with us Africans, when you ask that type of a question, and that person see it as being impolite, tend to answer you with a question too. Then you don't have anything. Then you are, yeah, because he's offended the way you approach. Then he will just answer you with another question. And that conversation will end up without bringing any knowledge from it. You don't learn anything and maybe even destroy a relationship. So for me, how to ask questions, this is really important to restart training ourselves and our society and the people around us. Thank you.
So I think, like we have identified, most of these challenges are foundational issues which we need to address. Like you have suggested writing a book about it, I think also a kind of curriculum should be written, starting from something like the kindergarten schools, basically the primary schools and the secondary schools. And from there, we can now proceed to the university level of education. And this now, probably while creating the platforms and the different groups, they now can go into these schools, introduce it to most of the teachers on the local governmental levels, and from there, God willing, everything will fall into place. We know it's a process. It's not something that is going to happen overnight. But the most important thing is to start something about it.
And especially movements.
Yes, sir.
Movements is even more important.
Exactly, because I remember like when the health issue was raised, some people have died because of the callousness of doctors. Because they want to make money, they will prescribe some treatment procedures that are not even necessary. I remember some doctors we consulted to attend to my wife, and the first thing they suggested was an operation. While some time back, somebody advised her, I don't think you need an operation. What you need is just to flush yourself over a period, and the situation will be taken care of. But these ones, because they want the money that is involved, they have to try to convince you to take the operation route, and thereby even endangering your life further. A lot of people have died because of this. And then even when they open, they find that even the situation is not even what is necessary. So these are most of the challenges that I believe this particular topic we are dealing today has set up to attend to. And
In the beginning, at least we have the beginning now.
yes, sir.
We should now popularize it and
I think this should go on national television in Nigeria.
wow.
I didn't even know this would be coming up. I was discussing with Chioma yesterday. I asked her to make some inquiry about how we can get into national television, like mock news, and we have a lot of platforms where our ladies are doing programs and they have audience. So this is supposed to go in there. She's going to do that. And I think this is a topic that affects all of us. This is not about Christianity. I don't think any Muslims that is in his right mind will argue with something like this, because we are all suffering from something like this. Sometimes ago, a doctor came and gave a testimony. He's a medical doctor himself, and another doctor told him that something happened wrong with his heart, and they removed his heart. He did not question it.
By God.
Only to realize after that nothing wrong with his heart. He doesn't need that operation. Everybody was screaming, and he's also a medical doctor.
Wow.
So we are all naive when it comes to this topic. So he needs to
remove a man's heart.
Yeah, and he doesn't need it. And he is a medical doctor himself. So
It's not in the profession, it's in the questioning.
that's right. It's in the
Reasoning,
questioning.
He just got answer
Yeah.
without questioning.
Yeah. And what is going on now in the churches, even that makes a lot of churches popular, like NHA, they give people wrong diagnosis, HIV positive, all this nonsense. They will come to the church, and the church will say, we pray about it, Papa lay hands on us, go back and do the test. It's negative.
Because the diagnosis was wrong in the first place.
Was wrong in the first place.
And they make all these pastors superhuman.
Yeah. They think, it was his prayer that does that revives it. All this nonsense. It's crap. So people need to know so they will stop fooling themselves.
Beautiful. Paul, you wanted to say something too? Okay.
Before I start, let me just add to what you say concerning the doctors also. Somebody went to the hospital sick. They are telling the person that they have to cut the person open first to find out if actually the person, what he's thinking is actually what is inside. If he doesn't see it, then he cannot steal it back. I say, are these people not human beings again? You're not even sure of what you want to do. You just want to open and be sure of what you are looking for. And then if it's not there, you just leave it. So that's maybe it's X-ray, another type of X-ray. I don't know. So when you bring it down to church, I had an experience when I was growing up. I had a best friend, or one of my good friends. Because they are in this church, they call faith. The children, they are in the church, they don't know what faith is. Because the teaching you gave the first day we came, you said to us that believing God and having faith is not more important than asking questions.
Yes.
Because we were taught to believe and have faith, and these children didn't ask questions, a whole lot of things happened in that family. While we were in secondary school, I saw her one Friday. She was carrying her tummy, crying. So we were all suggesting as children, maybe it's appendicitis. Maybe you need to go and see the health mistress. I was one that took her to the health mistress. The school took her because it was about to rupture. They took her to the hospital. The father was so furious, went to the hospital, took this child back because they needed the father to sign before they carried out the operation. The man took the child and said that the angels, they are going to operate on her. You understand? So that was how, when we came to school on Monday, we heard that the thing busted in her tummy and she just died like that, So the thing till today traumatized me. Later, the family still came to move into the estate where I'm staying. They still lost the second wife. Even before then, the girl had lost the mom. The girl even had a bad leg because she had an accident and was not treated because they go to faith. So now...
Faith church.
Now, this morning when I was even meditating...
Christ Apostolic Faith.
Yes, I was meditating on that thing because of the questioning, the act of questioning. I said, how can these people be so foolish and gullible that somebody will tell you should have faith? Then why are you not telling me to have faith and sit down that food will come into my mouth so I can eat it? Is it only in my health aspect that you're telling me to have faith? The father goes to work, they wear clothes, a whole lot of things they are doing normally. Then why is it in this aspect that they foolishly believe that they are not supposed to take treatment? Then if you have faith, you should open your mouth, food will enter your mouth. Then you wake up in the morning, then dress will come upon you. If that is exactly the what they believe in the church there. You understand? But this man, later in life, because he had a son, or he has a son, so he didn't want to lose that son, because he wants his lineage to still go on. The son was sick. One early morning, my mother caught this man, taking the son to the hospital. Very early, so people will not know. So when people are not being real to themselves, and they don't want to ask questions. So this is the part of problem we are facing. And the people in the society, they should tell children, if children in the churches, they are not allowed to ask questions, and they go to school and find out they could ask questions, I think it will help them.
But in regards to the health system we have in Nigeria, I actually I did an operation, doctor, an appendix operation in Nigeria. And my mom took me to a private hospital. This is not even a public hospital, private hospital. So the ward I was in, myself and one other cultist guy, I think he got shot or macheted, I don't know. But both of us in that ward. And the drugs that was meant for him, they brought it for me. So the one that was meant for me, they gave it to him. So if not for my sweet mother that had to cross-check those drugs, let me cross-check these drugs that these people brought to. And she later found out that it's for this guy now. This is not the one that I made. So they just messed the whole thing up. And a private hospital for that matter.
Horrible stuff.
I think what Stachinwe said is I had a life experience because I lost a very close friend, very, very close friend. I think we were in 200 or 300 levels in university. He used to attend, is it Christ Apostolic Church or something?
Yeah.
Faith Apostolic or something like that?
Apostolic faith.
Apostolic faith, yeah. So he fell ill, and then it wasn't serious, just before the end of the first semester. And I was telling him, why not take medicine? No, don't believe in medicine. You don't take. I said, is it a matter of what your church don't believe or you don't believe? So I tried everything for weeks. Sat him down, opened scripture, showed him that even medicine, God approves of medicine. I did everything, he refused. Then just 1 week after the semester ended, we got the news that he was dead. That's how he died. And the problem is because in our churches today, even not just that faith church, some other faith movement, they teach you that questioning is a sign of doubt. That when you question, you are doubting God. You don't believe that God can do it. So that's the foundational teachings that most religion has done so much evil that we have. And that's the concept a lot of people, because they go to church every Sunday, they hear it. Even doctors go to church, hear it, but in their head, in their mind, they are still believing that, okay, it's like which is more superior, God.
So for what we are discussing now, it means that this topic we are addressing, the art of questioning, can really resolve a lot of issues in Africa. You see, that's why I say that how can questioning bring solutions to Africa? Okay, let's go ahead and see how questioning has brought solution. True young men who are not even graduates, who are not even high school graduates, but by questioning themselves, they got solutions that all of Africa needs today. Let's see the videos. Video. Sure. So we are going to see this video of young men who, okay, yes,
William, hi, good to see you.
Thanks.
So, we've got a picture, I think. Where is this?
This is my home. This is where.
show was press code the time, huh? So we're going to show you a video of a young man that, was in a 12-year-old or 11-year-old in high school that couldn't go to school just by going to the library to read a book, brought electricity to his village and his community. We got over in it. So we're going to show you the video. What I'm trying to say is that questioning is what will bring about invention. Questioning is what will bring about breakthrough to our continent. I mean, the breakthrough they are all asking for in churches is a whole crap. It's a whole waste of time. It's a waste of destiny with all those breakthroughs. It is questioning that will bring solutions. Questioning will bring about innovation. Questioning will bring about, the progress, the technical progress, industrialization, all the things that we need to be able to build a developed, and civilized society. So this whole topic of questioning is a topic that all of us must, find a way of propagating it to our people, and in our schools, in our churches, and in our society at large. We must make sure that, we make it the culture of the day, and it will replace superstitions. It will replace quest and craze for miracle. It will make our people to be truly educated and enlightened. Right now, what we call education is just getting knowledge. Acquisition of knowledge is not yet education. Education is the ability when you make that person to be able to think and question, and then to be able to act by, cause and effect. So that is how real education comes. And we are going to go into show you some videos, a few videos that will show you the kind of thing we are talking about. That will show you that, when even little children ask questions, they stand a chance of even bringing global solutions. So just by asking questions, they got solution, whereby people who just get knowledge, ready-made knowledge, they don't get any answer. Это вы уже другое сейчас показываете? А предыдущее я же объявил тут. Или тот не готов? So it is all about questioning. Questioning is the mother of invention, and it is the questioning that will lead to solutions. Yesterday, пока ты что готово, уже в перерыв сейчас будет. Надо мне сказать, что вы уже готовы, потом я объявлю и остановлюсь. Что не можете найти? А какие эти три? Ну, хорошо, давайте хотя бы. Готовы хотя бы что-то показывать или нет? Okay, давайте. Okay, we are going to see right now the Kelvin Doe guy from Sierra Leone. See, he's a young 12-year-old. Now, he started, I think, maybe when he was 7 or 9 years old. He built his own radio station without going to secondary school even. And people who are finishing universities, they cannot even do anything like that. Then he found a way to power it, electricity, without no electricity in his place. And we in Nigeria, everybody is complaining of electricity. We are waiting for the government. So this is the answer to your question. Government, no. It is people who ask questions who will have answer, not government who will have answer. Let's go ahead. Right. Amazing, huh? Questioning. It's more important than education, the formal education. All those ones who are finishing school in Nigeria, every year we are producing them in thousands, but nobody is producing what a small boy that questioned himself, is been able to produce. Okay. Let's see another one here. Another 11-year-old who couldn't go to school and brought electricity to his whole community from Malawi. Just questioning. He just went to the library, found a book. He was not even reading. He was not even planning to do something. Just read it and said, why not? Now he's speaking at TED.
Good to see you. So, We've got a picture, I think. Where is this?
This is my home. This is where I live.
Village, yeah?
What country?
In Malawi, Kasum. In Kasum.
Is down? Oh.
Yeah, Malawi.
Okay, now you're 19 now?
Yeah, I'm 19 years now.
5 years ago you had an idea. What was that?
I want to make a windmill.
A windmill?
Yeah.
And so, what, to power, for lighting and stuff?
Yeah.
So what did you do? How did you realize that?
After I dropped out from school, I went to library and I read a book titled Using Energy, and I get information about windmill, and I try and I made it.
He's so scared, he's so timid, he's a village boy. Can you imagine coming from that village, that little house, to the world stage?
You exactly copied the design in the book?
No, I changed.
What happened?
In fact, a design of the windmill that it was in the book, it have got 3 plates, and mine have got 4 plates.
The book had 3, yours had 4.
Yeah.
And you made it out of what?
I made 4 plates just because I want to increase power.
Okay. Did you tested 3 and found that 4 worked better?
Yeah. I tested.
And what did you make the windmill out of? What materials did you use?
I use a bicycle frame and a pulley and plastic pipe, wooden poles.
We have a picture of that. Can we have the next slide?
Yeah. That's the windmill.
This is electricity windmill. That's how he brought electricity to his village.
It rotates and generates.
How much electricity?
12 watts.
And so that lit a light for the house? How many lights?
4 bulbs and 2 radios.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so
he's so scared. He's sure, yeah.
So who's that?
This is my parents holding the radio.
So what did they make of it? You were 14, 15 at the time, and what did they make of this?
He was
They were
13.
impressed?
Yeah.
And so what are you going to do with this? What do you, I mean, do you want
He's
to...
not even understanding the English.
Yeah, I want to build another one to pump water and irrigation for crops.
So this one would have to be bigger?
Yeah.
Thinking.
I think it will produce more than 200 volts.
So that would produce irrigation for the entire village?
Yeah.
Wow. And so you're talking to people here at TED to get people who might be able to help in some way to realize this dream?
Yeah, if they can help.
Look at him. This is where he's building himself.
With materials, yeah.
And as you think of your life going forward, you're 19 now.
He's using bicycle.
Do you
Something, yeah.
continuing with this dream of working in energy?
Yeah. Thinking to work on energy.
Wow.
Yeah.
William, it's a real honor to have you at the TED conference. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
He's so scared. There is a film, there is a whole film about him. You people can go to the internet and look at him. He's now a graduate. He's read his master's. He got scholarship overseas, and now he's so he's a grown-up guy now. But yeah, so you see, these are people asking themselves questions. He finished primary school. He couldn't get education to secondary school, so he went to the library to just learn. He has learned to read. He said he got the most important thing in primary school, the ability to read. Now that he could read, he was just looking for different books to read. Then because his parents, they didn't have electricity, so they were having a lot of problems. So he took electricity book to read how to generate electricity. So that is how invention came. But in Nigeria, looking for government work job, bank job, one job or the other, and complaining government didn't bring electricity. Look, we're waiting for answers. We not knowing that questions is what you'll be looking for, not answers. Okay, that's why I wrote that book. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
and you go to person where even no bill but then you go to person and show I'm waiting for you, and then bill and he'll come up and they can do. There's a couple of demonstrations. We never know what they can do yet, and finally the testing radio station.
No, this is the same one, right? It's the same Kelvin, no?
Ladies and gentlemen.
No, let's play. Let's see.
I am now pleased to welcome to the stage Mr. Kevin Doe.
Yeah, it's the same one. We already saw this.
For Kevin.
Yeah, we already saw it. The way to take that Moyog, Katore. Yeah, so, instead of us looking for questions, we think that answers is what is important, but really it is questions that is important. That's why I wrote my book, Why Losing Your Job. You are the one who provoked me to write that book. Why Losing Your Job is the best thing that could happen to you. Now the second book, Stop Looking for a Job. And then all these kind of things, people are saying, wow, I'll stop looking for a job. Why don't look for a job? Because questions are the greatest thing that could happen to you. Okay? Let's see one of my videos that I did in this regard. The greatest secret of life that I've discovered. Zvuk, почему на это звук? Начните заново тогда.
Greatest secret of success that I have discovered. The greatest secrets of life, actually, not just of success. The greatest secret, apart from salvation, the greatest secret of success that I have discovered. The greatest secrets of life, actually, not just of success. The greatest
Life is predictable. That is, I've just written a book on that. I don't know if we have it this week here. It's called The Greatest Secret. The greatest secret that I've discovered in life. I have another one that is called Life is Predictable. But this one, this one here. This book here is the one I will, if you want to know the secret of Pastor Sunday, one of the greatest secrets of life, it's called Life's Greatest Secret. It's my latest book, but this is my real, but it's not just my own greatest secret. I think it's life's greatest secret. It is the greatest secret of life for anybody to discover. Apart from salvation, there is no greater secret than what is written in this book. Life's greatest secret.